30,000 feet is a long way up, so it takes a lot of trust to fly on a plane. You want a plane with a plane and plane engines which don't fall apart at that kind of altitude. As part of a research team which helps to ensure this level of safety, I'd like to show you why your trust is well placed. The role of a plane engine is to generate thrust by accelerating air through the engine. Air is sucked in, compressed, ignited, and then ejected out the back. But before it's ejected, it passes through the turbine stage at the rear of the engine to generate power. The turbine is spun when hot, high-velocity air is ejected from the combustion chamber and collides with a series of disks, like the one shown. The spinning means that these disks undergo enormous mechanical loads, and they have to do it without failing, ever. This isn't so easy. The combination of heat and high load causes a problem to turbine disks. If there's a tiny crack in the metal, then after lots of plane journeys, it can start to grow very fast when these things called metal oxides form ahead of the crack, and they fracture really easily. You'll all know the most famous metal oxide. It's rust. You can imagine, as engineers, we really don't want it in our engines. But the thing is, we can never actually avoid it. So instead, we plan around it. By performing lab-based tests to replicate engine conditions, I can measure and predict how fast cracks grow at extreme temperatures under extreme loading cycles. The results of these tests tell me how often the engines must be checked to make sure that there's no damage there. But I can go further than this with my tests. Because I know that the highest load the engine will experience is for the few seconds around takeoff. This is then followed by the climb stage, where the load's also quite high. By applying the loading cycle seen in graph 1 over and over again, I can imitate a plane going through thousands of flight cycles, all in the safety of a lab. This new type of test shows me the effect of including versus not including the takeoff load. What we find is really interesting because, counterintuitively, adding this high takeoff load actually slows down the rate at which cracks grow. You can see this in graph 2. I've shown that this happens because when a high load is slightly reduced, a compressive force is exerted on the crack. This compressive force actually stops the oxides, the rust, from forming, slowing down the damage in our engines. This paradoxical effect of the high takeoff load isn't taken into account in existing methods to predict engine lifetimes. This means that engines are actually safer than we think. And believe me, we already think that they're unbelievably safe. Thanks to my data, plane engines can run safer for longer and save companies money. And if you just remember one thing from this talk, it's that adding this high takeoff load helps us trust the engine to produce thrust, but not rust. Thank you all very much.